maybe good evening, and welcome to the show Hot and Spicy Chat on Dating and Relationships. Today with you is just myself, Olga Gaidana, who is joining you from the UK. But normally, as you know, I'm joined by Christina Davy, all the way from Australia. Christina today is hosting her really amazing and beautiful event for single people all the way in Australia. So if you are in Australia, I invite you to check her out because she is amazing. She does the most amazing in-person events for single people. So go ahead, check it out, and maybe even join if you're single. Don't join if you're in a relationship. You know what I mean. Anyways, today I'm really excited to talk about the topic which actually is on the minds of so many people. How do I know it? Because I work with so many people who are in the relationships. Here's the thing. Very often people tell themselves, I am in a relationship and I'm not happy, it's toxic, it's unhealthy. I know I'd like to be with somebody else, but I'm in a relationship because of children, because we've been together for so long, because of finances, and they give you 101 reason why they're still in that relationship. Whilst, and there's a big whilst, in reality, they are in that relationship because they're simply afraid to be by themselves. This is one of the biggest fears of everybody out there, believe me or not. No matter how much people tell you, I'm in a relationship because of children, reality is, I worked with those children who faced their parents lying to them for their entire life, and they hated that because eventually they grew up with completely mixed message. Is this sort of relationship? Is it not? Can a relationship be real and authentic, or is everything fake? Because as parents, when you stay together for children, because of children, you actually create the illusion of happy marriage. And unfortunately, one day that illusion, just like sandcastle on the beach, will be ruined. And they don't like it because they grew up with mixed message and therefore they struggle to build their own relationship later on. When people think they stay because of the finances, the thing is, the finances, reality is not. It's easy nowadays to go and find a job. We're not living in a time where you had to send letters to your potential employers. We have access to so many media right now. Go find a job if you struggle financially to sustain yourself, right? There's lots of help out there as well. And I'm sure you have friends and family who can support you at least for a short time as well. But do not stay in a relationship because of finances, right? Because that's a wrong thing to do. Because ultimately you are unhappy and also you are feeling like you depend on somebody. Okay, but I would like to address the real reason. We can go through multiple other excuses, okay, but I'd like to address the real reason is people being afraid to be by themselves when it comes to staying in a toxic relationship. Where does it come from? Usually that comes from observing somebody close to you when you were growing up. It could be a family member, mother, father, grandmother, granddad, auntie, uncle, anybody, right? When you observe them being single after they got separated or they lost their partner to death or when they got divorced, and when you see them being single, you think this is the almost like the outcome of every separation. When in reality, I am sure you have seen 99 other examples around you that people separated and got into relationship and they were happy. But the ultimate truth is here that everybody has different journey. Some people choose to be single because they're too afraid to go into another relationship. And that's exactly what many people don't see. What they see is after separation, that person stayed single. I don't want to stay single for the rest of my life because of separation. So I will choose to be in an unhappy relationship. So I am not single. But often people don't see that actually that person had other fears, that person perhaps had a fear. What if I will never be happy in another relationship? What if I'll be unhappy again? What if this? What if that? So they choose to stay single for many other reasons, many other fears. And therefore, it's really important to have a look around you and see, let me find out how many success stories can I see around me when it comes to people separating and getting into that relationship, right? Because when we believe that after separation you will stay single for the rest of your life, you will be holding on to that unhealthy relationship. And there's nothing worse than wasting your life in an unhappy relationship. It's like going to a job that you hate. You'll spend so many hours at that work. Why would you go there? Why would you torture yourself? Find another job. The same here, right? If you are deeply unhappy, if it's deeply unfulfilling, if it really is torturing your soul being in this relationship, why would you be in it? It's time to say, I choose to be happy. And I'm not sure how about you, but I love this saying that you rather stay hungry that you eat breadcrumbs, right? Or if you eat rocks. And honestly, I rather stay hungry than I eat breadcrumbs from the floor, right? You got to really make that choice, because here's the thing how universe works. Universe will send you something just to test you. Will you accept the breadcrumbs? And if you are, it's fine. For example, you said one day, I really would like to be in a relationship, without specifying what type of relationship you would want to. Loyal, healthy, fulfilling, supportive. You just say, I want to be in a relationship. And universe, out of the whole catalog of relationship, is sending you one, whichever was the nearest by, like Uber, right? And imagine that Uber arrives dirty and smelly. If you get into that car, if you get into that relationship, universe is like, okay, job done. But it's up to you whether you will get into that or not. Okay, you got into that because maybe on the outside, just like Uber car, it looks nice and clean. Only when you got into that, you were able to see, for example, it's dirty and smelly. Okay, I get it. I get it. You didn't see it straight away. You got into the relationship, which on the outside looked amazing, but once you're in it, it looks, nah, it stinks. It's unhealthy relationship. Why do you stay in it? Why do you stay in it? Because the longer you stay, have you heard the phrase? For the longer you stay on the wrong train or bus or whatever, the more expensive it gets to get back home. But I'm here. For longer you stay in that unhealthy, toxic, unhappy relationship, the more expensive it costs you. Your well-being, your health, your mental health, your life, your time. You can't get time back and money, right? Because again, when it comes to relationships, things still cost money, right? So why would you invest your time, your energy, and your money into something that doesn't work? In other words, why would you continue riding that Uber if it stinks and smells? It's time to get off. And then, okay, you're thinking, yeah, but what if I'll get off? There'll be no Uber coming around. Have you ever seen that? Like, seriously? There's always another Uber. There's always another guy. There's always another girl. And I'm not into changing relationships every 3 months. I'm not. But look, everybody's journey is different. And there's nothing wrong if somebody is searching themselves. And yes, they do end up in a healthy relationship, maybe not once, maybe not twice, maybe multiple times, until they find the healthy one. What's wrong with that? Oh, I guess you're afraid of judgment, right? What would other people say? Me going from one relationship to another. Well, those are the people who will tell something about you actually are thinking the same thing. What would other people say if I'll get divorced after 30 years being in this deeply unhappy and torturing relationship? So, surprise, surprise, everybody is focused on themselves. As much as you think, what would other people think of you? Changing the relationships or leaving this relationship where you have been for whatever time because now you're not happy, they are thinking the same thing. What would other people say after we've been together for so long, raised 15 children, and now we are separating? Trust me, everybody has their own fears. Okay. Whilst you're thinking what they will think, they think exactly the same thing. So relax. Relax about other people. They don't care. That's the reality. They don't care. If they do care, 5 seconds care. Why? Just while they talk about you, then they move on with their own lives. So, seriously, if you are right now sacrificing your life, your energy, your time, and your money because of the wrong relationship, right? Whilst you're thinking, oh, what would other people say? You're wasting your time. Yeah, literally, even on that thought. Okay. So, when it comes to you being afraid of staying by yourself for the rest of your life, address it. Really? Address it. Because if you don't, unfortunately, that's exactly where you'll be stuck, constantly worrying, constantly being afraid. But the truth is, just like there's always another job, there's always another Uber, there's always another person waiting just around the corner for you to say, no, this relationship is not healthy. This relationship doesn't suit me. This relationship is not something I would like my children to be in. And that is my test question to all my clients. Whenever they are kind of trying to find lots of excuses why they still should be in this relationship, I always put this card on the table. I always ask this question. Okay. And even if people don't have children, actually, they still are able to put themselves into the situation of imaginary children. Okay. So I always say, okay, even if you don't have children, imagine you have one. Okay. Just for these 5 minutes. If you would have a child, or if you do have a child, would you want them to be in a relationship like yours? Usually, this is like truth bomb. It really allows people to open their eyes. And normally, in 99.99 cases, I hear from people, no. Whilst they were trying to excuse themselves why they are still in that relationship. Isn't it fascinating? Right? Because when it comes to our children, even if you don't have one, even if you never plan to have one, but you still think, even if I would have one, I would want the best for them, right? So that's why when you think that you wouldn't want your child to have this type of the relationship, why would you? Because inside of you, there's also a child. Inside of you, there's a child who is seeking love, who is seeking being supported, who is seeking being understood, seen, and heard. And whilst you are shutting that child down, you're not hearing that child, you're not seeing the child, you're not seeing the struggles that inner child is having. You actually are doing disservice to yourself. So do yourself a favor. Start paying attention to those separations which ended up in happy relationships, right? And you will see how that fear will start fading away. Because what you are afraid of is just a story that you observed, somebody else's life that you have observed, and you think that will be your reality. Whilst those people, they chose to be single. They didn't stay single because of separation. They chose to stay single because they were too afraid to start another relationship. And here's the thing, I'm sure you are not. So that will not be your story. Happy days? Start thinking about why are you in your relationship. Type below. What is your relationship right now is like? Type below if you have ever been in a relationship which you were struggling to finish off because of your fears, because of your concerns, because of something that wouldn't let you leave that relationship. I'm curious. I'm really curious to hear. So that was Olga on Hot and Spicy show on dating and relationships. Today doing solo because Christina, she's busy with her singles event. Please make sure you check it out. And of course, you're more than welcome to come to my couples retreats because this is where we rejuvenate. We learn together how to communicate in your relationship again. We go through feminine and masculine energies in your relationship. We go through difficult conversations, including intimacy. In fact, day 4 is all about intimacy at my retreats. We talk about finances, the topic which actually I was discussing recently as well when I was doing solo show too. We have so many topics that we deal with and we go through at my retreats that actually every single couple are leaving this retreat always reconnected. In fact, one of the couples managed to resolve an issue that happened in their marriage 43 years ago. They were married 45 years old together. 43 years ago, something happened. They were never able to talk about it. They were never able to resolve that. And they managed to resolve it finally, 43 years later. So Come along to my relationship retreats if you would like to rejuvenate your relationship. And you don't have to actually wait until you have a problem. I have couples actually come to my relationship when everything is great because they want to maintain that greatness in their relationship. So you don't have to come only if your relationship is bad. No, everybody's welcome, whoever's in the relationships, to my retreat. So actually, you can take your relationship to the very next level. So I'll see you there. Check out singles event of Christina's as well, all the way in Australia, which is really, really exciting. And next week I'll be by myself because Christina, she cannot just again. And then we're gonna have Christina back again, which is super duper exciting. So thank you so much for joining today. Whoever was here, I really appreciate you. Please share this video with your friends, with those people that actually are close to you, so actually they can learn from this as well. And I'm looking forward to see under this video where you are joining me today. See you next week and take care.